Hey guys, so today I thought I'd talk about the biggest scams in skincare and beauty and makeup and that entire industry. So much of it is playing on people's emotions and then selling products and capitalizing a lot of times on insecurities, which I think is such a scammy, scummy thing to do, to capitalize on people's insecurities to sell them products and make money. What a scummy way to make money. Is there no other way to make money than to say, look it, you have cellulite. Let's sell them a cellulite cream. I mean, there's so many of those out there. Even Biossance recently released a cellulite cream. I mean, come on. I mean, I thought that was a thing of the past, but I guess not. Bliss had cellulite cream. Fat Girl Slim was what they called it. And tons of other brands. So cellulite creams, a lot of them contain caffeine, which might instantly make skin appear smoother. Caffeine kind of dilates blood vessels and things like that. So don't fall into that scam. If the product looks good and hydrating and you're using it as a moisturizer, great, but don't use anything just for cellulite. And you know what? A lot of women have cellulite. A lot of models even have cellulite. And you know what? A lot of them don't have it yet, but they will. So don't worry about that insecurity. Another big scam, clean beauty. Clean beauty, you see it everywhere now. It's clean, it's natural, it's clean. Sephora, clean at Sephora, which actually really doesn't mean that much. Clean doesn't mean much. Vegan means something because the vegan term is regulated. So when you see something that says vegan, that is one thing. But if it says clean, that is another thing. Clean somehow got warped into no preservatives and jar packaging and just other random things. Natural fragrance. Clean beauty doesn't really mean anything. And it's not regulated. So if you see something advertised as clean, a lot of times they're going to say, oh, well, we don't use any preservatives. Well, I don't know. Kind of want a cream that uses preservatives because I don't want a product that's going to end up as a solid chunk at the bottom of the jar that I spent $50 on in a month or two. I've had that happen with Youth to the People, Herbivore, products like that, where I've opened it, used it a few times, set it down for a couple weeks, and then go to open the jar up, and it's literally a dried clump at the bottom. So preservatives, I'm kind of a fan of them. I get a lot of people are sensitive to different things. A lot of preservatives have been demonized, probably incorrectly and inappropriately when they really shouldn't have been, when now other preservatives sneak their way in, which are actually more irritating and things like that. So clean beauty is kind of a marketing term. Almost all of this comes down to marketing, actually. Medical strength, clinical strength is another term which a lot of people think means something special. If you see something that says medical strength or clinical strength, unless it's a prescription, it's not regulated any differently. It generally just has a higher price tag and is marketed differently as a clinical strength product or something you only get from your dermatologist. I remember back in the years ago, SkinCeuticals was really only available through dermatologists or estheticians or day spas. Now it's available everywhere. Look Fantastic, Derm Store, I mean, all those places. But they kind of started out, in my mind, as kind of trying to say their medical strength or clinical strength when a lot of their stuff is very similar to other stuff that's already exists or over the counter. So that's another just a marketing term. Labeling is another huge thing. You'll see things that say like dermatologist tested or even things that say unscented or fragrance free, which don't mean the same thing. You'll see things that say allergy approved, things like that. Dermatologist tested means nothing. It means they paid a dermatologist to use it. That's it. What does the test results say? They never show it. They just say dermatologist tested, which doesn't really mean anything. A lot of Estee Lauder Clinique products do that. So labels, they're a huge thing. Labels are generally what gets people to buy the product, what it says, what it looks like. Another thing, I actually love this product, but when it says like high potency, I don't necessarily think high potency is always a great thing. You see nowadays with like vitamin C serums, every brand is kind of trying to one-up the next brand. What brand? Just recently came out with like a 23 or 25% vitamin C serum is CosRX. Highest. So that's like they're competing in terms of the amount of vitamin C they can throw in the bottle. But is that actually a good thing if it's high potency vitamin C? It really isn't, because to be honest, the higher you get from the research done on vitamin C, between 5% and 20%, anything up from that just increases the chance of irritation, likeliness you won't be able to use it very often, your skin will get dry, itchy, rashy, things like that. You don't necessarily want it. High potency isn't always a great thing, especially when it comes to actives. I mean, typically you don't see a lot of salicylic acid serums over 4%. 4% I think is one of the highest. Paul's Choice has one at 4%. Try finding anything else really above 4% that's a leave-on salicylic acid, and you won't see it, but a lot of brands will compete. It seems to be more popular with vitamin C or retinols. Peter Thomas Roth with their high-strength retinol, 3% retinol. You know what? 3%? That's not that great. Actually, it's just more potential chance for irritating your skin. But then again, with all of those high-strength retinoids, do some research because, sorry, my nose itchy. Because generally, it will be a combination of other retinoids, not just retinol. Because 3% retinol on anybody would probably really irritate their skin, but a lot of people tolerate that one well. So why is it? Maybe it's encapsulated. They use other weaker retinoids in there. So, and generally, when it comes to things like that, you're better off going with just a prescription product. So, clinical strength, medical strength, whatever, it's all over the counter. But the real strength is prescription strength, which are real things. They're prescriptions. You typically have to see a dermatologist or a doctor to get them. So those are a different class compared to medical, clinical, or high potency things, prescription drugs. So you want to prescription, a lot of prescription ones are great, but you have to be very slow to start. And a lot of them can't compete with some of the things that are over the counter. So another thing that's kind of a scam is fast results. Like if anything says, hey, you're going to use this within 2 to 4 days, you're going to notice your skin is brighter. You're going to notice your skin is healthier. Your skin is less dry. Don't believe that because, you know what, most products, you want to use them, test them for at least 30 days before you can say whether or not something's working. And a lot of ingredients is longer. Like azelaic acid, typically you want to use that 6 to 8 weeks before you can really tell if it's working. So anything that really claims fast results, tomorrow you're going to be happier, you're going to look better. You have to be patient with everything with skincare. So fast results don't mean anything, and you want to be able to use something in the long run because, anyway, so fast results, kind of a scam. Another big thing, happens more at the clean beauty than not. Natural fragrance is not irritating for your skin. Kind of like the Clean at Sephora thing. Interestingly enough, Clean at Sephora doesn't exclude essential oils and natural fragrance, which can be, for certain people, just as irritating as regular fragrance, and in some cases more irritating, especially certain essential oils a lot of people are very sensitive to. So I believe at the Clean at Sephora thing, it says like if it's less than a certain amount of fragrance, it's clean. But for a lot of people, fragrance in general can just be irritating. Not everyone, and if you can handle fragrance and you like it, go for it, no problem with it. But a lot of people will be irritated by it, and natural fragrance isn't any better or any different than artificial fragrance, which is all kind of goes back to the same thing. Another thing, the biggest thing in skincare right now, I think, is influencers. I don't really consider myself an influencer because I'm really not trying to influence anyone to do anything other than do their own research, come up with their own solutions to problems. Do your own research. Don't believe anything anyone says. Go read about it. Check out studies, everything like that. And influencers have kind of become a bad thing because so many people are just trying to shill their product. I mean, how many influencers now have their own skincare line? And why did they start influencing? Did they start influencing to be educational, talk about skincare, or was their whole line like, hey, let me build up an audience as so many subscribers or whatever, I'm going to release my own brand, I'm going to become rich, and that's the game, that's the end goal. I think probably a lot of them, not everyone, and some of them that might have their own lines probably genuinely did it because they believe in it and things like that, but a lot of influencers these days are just after fast cash, and it's so hard now, especially with reviews and Influencer and everything else, to tell what's genuine. And online, when you look up a product, I probably would guess 9 out of 10 of everything you read about that product is either from people that have a stake in it, people that were paid to review it, people that were given an endorsement for the brand, people that have an affiliate link, which, I mean, I do, but I don't want anyone to buy something just because somebody says it's good. If it's something you need, something you think will help your skin, something you've read about, researched yourself, go for it. But I just don't think people should just buy into something because one person said it's great. That might be a good thing, but I think a lot of the times it comes down to money, and especially with a lot of these brands. And in general, the world goes around from money, but I wish there was a little bit more honesty and integrity out there. I hope it's coming. I think a lot of things are changing and in flux and everything like that. So, but it just seems like, I just don't, I don't quite understand a lot of like there's a lot of like doctors that are influencers now. And I just wonder, I mean, are they still doing dermatology? Like the the Tula skincare brand, they were huge into like probiotics and things like that, but they could have done some interesting things with it. Instead, they sold these products with probiotics, knowing that topical probiotics, they might do a little bit, but compared to like real live probiotics, they can't touch anything, what that can do. So I kind of wonder, why would they focus on that instead of making a huge difference? And I get it, everyone's got to pay their bills, but it's just, sometimes it rubs me the wrong way, and I just don't see a lot of it as totally genuine. But it's totally, you know what, there's a lot of great people out there, so a lot of people have good thoughts, and if it helps, that's awesome. But always do your own research, come to your own conclusion. Don't believe everything you read, see, or hear, because you just don't know. So anyway, one other thing I want to talk about, topical products are great. You know what, sometimes diet might play into a lot of these things. They're finding more and more ties to diet with a lot of issues, especially health-wise. So diet can play a role in it, but some of these supplements and things I don't necessarily believe in. Most of the supplements I don't believe in unless you have a deficiency in that. The supplement will help, but if you don't have a deficiency in it, the supplement's not going to do anything except drain your pocketbook out. So don't necessarily rely on those. But if you've tried everything else, seen a dermatologist, and your skin issues aren't still going away, diet might be something worth looking for. Especially when it relates to acne, there's some supplements like zinc that have been thought to really make a big difference. So always do your own research on all of that before you do something. So anyway, so these are some of, in my opinion, the biggest scams. There's a lot more out there. I mean, everybody's after your money, so keep that in mind. And save it when you can. And anyway, so there we go. Anyway, interested from you guys what you guys are thinking. What are some big scams out there that you've noticed? I'm sure there's a lot more, especially when it comes to reviews, like Sunday Rise, fake reviews, things like that. So anyway, leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys. And tomorrow I'll have my morning review or morning routine. So anyway, thanks so much. I will see you more tomorrow. Bye, guys.